All right, we back. All right, yeah, my girl kicked out the Ethernet cord and it messed up the stream. So anyways, if you're still with us, shout out to you. Let's get right back to
Party
it.
next door.
Who's out there for me?
So actually, I'm gonna go. So we done the beginning, the whole John Rivers story. I don't think we need to see that again. Let's just start, because I was only like 10 minutes into it. Let's just pick this up like right after the John Rivers part. Shout out to John Rivers.
In a hip-hop music video. In my opinion, whether consciously or subconsciously, I do believe that John did inspire this cover, at a minimum. Again, I'm going to link his profile below.
There we go. I think this is a good place to start right here.
The song is broken up into 3 different beats with 2 switches and 2 samples. The first sample with the gospel-sounding choir is called Sing from the Terrell Show. For Drake's track, the words that we're hearing is, when we make a joyful song, I know where I belong with the Lord guiding me. And that simply
Yo, what is going on right now, bro? Like, hold on, let me refresh this.
back from the so-called dead. All amazing on this project.
Drake elimination,
There we
fake
go.
intimidation.
So Drake starts off here right out the gate referencing
We do it live, folks. Come on.
Kanye from an interview when he talked about the group effort to eliminate Drake.
You know, everybody was very, very excited about the elimination of Drake. Not excited, we was energized.
Now, Drake could also
So that's when Kanye, this is like the interview right after Kanye dropped that Like That remix, which no one listened to. Yo, Dad, I got you. Kendrick does not need your help. But yeah, this is right after that.
Excited about the elimination of Drake. Not excited, we was energized.
Now, Drake could
There we
also
go.
be alluding to his ongoing issues with UMG, as according to him, they conspired to eliminate him as well. I believe Drake sees UMG as the real enemy, like that's his biggest enemy. Drake claims that it's all just fake intimidation and he's basically unfazed by anything that has happened. This, of course, applies to Kendrick,
I don't,
as many have stated
I don't believe Drake is unfazed. I think the lawsuit says quite otherwise.
that this was just a moment in time and that his run will not be sustainable. Then there's the lawsuit itself, where it's alleged that Kendrick used bots and was getting a push from UMG.
Drake, they've probably used bots for you, and they've probably pushed you as well. Them meaning UMG, the record label. This is just
And even the
tomfoolery.
Super Bowl itself is reportedly decided by a person who dislikes Drake, and that's Jay-Z. From Drake's perspective, he doesn't see this as legitimate. It's fake intimidation. Like, Kendrick had a lot of help.
Take a minute, take a deep breath, have a little bit of patience.
And if this is what Drake thinks, I would wager this with Drake. I would say, yeah, you got beat in the rap beef, right? Before all this Super Bowl stuff and all this other stuff happened, before Not Like Us was botted to whatever the accusation is, you lost the rap beef. By the time 616 in LA came out, it was already getting out of hand. Like, it was already getting out of hand. Like, Kendrick done went back to back on you. You drop your joint and he dropped Meet the Grams. Like, it's already out of hand. It was already getting out of hand. So, like, the idea that Kendrick needed help when he beat you mano a mano is insane.
Drake appears to be taking a moment to meditate, grounding himself in the belief that this moment will pass, as he has strong faith that the truth will prevail, and once the dust settles, people will see all this for what it actually is. I agree, it's not going to always be Drake hate, 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 and Kendrick praise, praise, praise. Like, it's going to self-adjust. I think it already has, a little bit.
Drizzy, you amazing, you the inspiration. You set the bar for the next generation.
Drake is quoting what many people have said over the years, and especially during his So Far Gone era, as he truly set the bar for the next generation of rappers. This was even something that Kendrick himself acknowledged.
Once he went out there and did them numbers on all the original music.
And this is what this will separate What's the Dirt's videos from like a lot of other people's, even mine. How do you find this interview? The amount of research is crazy. When I do videos, I really just be going off of what I remember. Like, what do I remember about this time in hip hop? The amount of research to find this is insane. Look how grainy and old this video is. This is like from 2010 or something. Taylor Made was Drake's victory lap. Yeah, that was like the first, that whole push-ups in Taylor Made, that was like the only round that Drake, you could even say Drake won. Push-ups in Taylor Made versus Euphoria. You might give a slight W to Drake, but the idea that Kendrick needed help when he already beat him one-on-one that sounds wild. Yeah, Copium. Drake was up 3-0 and it was 3-0. Yeah, shout out to Conch in the chat. You know, we got the champion of Drake. It's hard to converse with you sometimes because I don't know when you're trolling and when you're being serious. So then I just take everything you say as trolling.
And went gold, if I'm not mistaken. What that did was grab attention from all independent artists and letting us know, yo, you have to compete on another level now.
The minute Drake dropped So Far Gone, you know what I mean? The game.
They're like this. These Elliott Wilson Crown interviews, they be so long. How do you find this little one clip to use in the future video? That's crazy. Like, or maybe he watches the videos and then just footnotes them. Like, okay, I'm using this. I'm gonna use this clip at some point. Footnote. That's organization. Let me put that in a little notes folder for future use.
Look, whether you agree with Drake's influence on music, like whether you like it, like what he's done, it's still undeniable his impact.
You Neo in the Matrix, these niggas just Nemo in the ocean, small fish making
So here we go. This is around the time where we left off. This is not bars, first of all.
No bars. None. Not a bar.
You Neo in the Matrix. These dudes just Nemo in the ocean. Finding Nemo. Small fish making kids feel emotion.
No bars. None. Not a bar.
What are y'all think?
Drake compares himself to Neo from The Matrix, which is a layered line because according to his lawsuit, he was up against much bigger forces than just Kendrick. I always gotta stress that Drake is actually really good at these types of references. Neo was just a regular guy living as a regular person within The Matrix, which is a fake world created by machines to control humans. When Neo discovers the truth and is deemed as being the one, he escapes and fights to free humanity, and he ultimately sacrifices himself to allow humans a chance to escape as well. There's definitely some parallels with respect to the lawsuit. If Drake is Neo, then the music industry...
Zero said you can search vids via transcript, which lets you just word search a video library pretty fast. I didn't know that. Let me start doing that. Let me start doing that thing.
Is the Matrix because this is where all the
my videos, I'll really just be going off of memory. Like, my stuff is all memory. Like,
manufactured dreams, bots, and illusions take place to make up that entire facade. Just like Neo, Drake was once a regular guy who signed a record deal, and he lived inside the system, ignorant to the fact that everything was fabricated. When Drake first came in, he was just happy to have a deal. He didn't know anything about the music business, really. Just like most of the people living in the Matrix, artists signed to these labels are not in control and are often completely unaware of what's even taking place. I would say 98% of the artists signed by these labels don't have the sweetest clue as to how the machine is really working. However, in the movie, there are some people who live in this fake world and they know damn well that everything is all fake, but they prefer to stay in it because it's comfortable.
How would that not qualify for major artists? Let me hear that part again.
8% of the artists.
See, the way I'm thinking about this is, how does Drake see himself as not a part of that after all these years where he benefited from
labels don't have the sweetest clue as to how the machine is really working. However, in the movie, there are some people who live in this fake world and they know damn well that everything is all fake, but they prefer to stay in it because it's comfortable. The artists that know about how all this works, like the 1%, those are the artists who are benefiting from this shit the most. They're the last people that'll ever expose it. In the case of Drake, if anyone knows how this machine really works, it's probably him. So calling himself the one actually kind of makes sense. Much like Neo, with this lawsuit, Drake is sacrificing himself, which will potentially help current and future artists. Now, to be fair, we don't have a clue what Drake's been really going through with UMG over the years. We have no idea. Of course, Drake's setup from the previous two lines also perfectly ties into this third line where he claims to be Neo. They're more or less telling Drake, like, you are the one, bro. Like, you changed a whole generation. You're amazing. Drake also claims that his competition are small fish like Nemo in the ocean.
Well, apparently not Kendrick because, yeah, Drake's surface level with these bars. I just don't enjoy Drake's rapping that much. There's some rap songs that I like, but he's never really been that engaging to me.
The clownfish from the Disney movie. In the movie, when Nemo is in the ocean, his every move is controlled by his father Marlin. Drake is claiming that these guys are all small fish as they are living their lives in a controlled setting, one that he has decided to break free from.
Using you for promotion, true words have never been spoken.
This line actually has quite a bit of depth, as most of the artists that turned on Drake were once people he helped. An artist like Kendrick...
Yeah, and I mentioned this in the video too. That is true. Yeah, that is true. I was going to say, like, it just depends on, do you see them as turning on Drake, or did Drake do something to them? But yeah, it's true.
Artists that turned
From
on
Kendrick to Rick Ross, Future, A$AP Rocky, The Weeknd, Drake helped all of these guys. Drake jumped on a collab album with Future when Drake was at his hottest in 2015, 2016, right before, around the time Views came out. Do a collab album with Future. I mean, Drake was way bigger than Future at the time. Drake took Kendrick on the Club Paradise tour. Excuse me. Kendrick's first major album feature was on Drake's album. If there was a bigger album that Kendrick was on before Take Care, let me know. And he took him on a Club Paradise tour. A$AP Rocky on that same Club Paradise tour. Rick Ross, like half of Rick Ross's biggest hits feature Drake. Aston Martin Music, Made Men. What else we got? I'm on one. Is Rick Ross on I'm on one? Metro. I don't really know about Drake and Metro's relationship. And The Weeknd. The Weeknd was already going crazy, but then obviously The Weeknd helped write a bunch of Take Care. So you could say Drake was helping them. Maybe some people would say he was using them for clout. Maybe I don't know. But a lot of the people who are against Drake right now are people that he's worked with. That's a better way to say it. That's a more non-biased way to say it.
on Drake were once people...
RT the brand said Drake birthed Kendrick. Now you're talking crazy. We don't agree with that. Say bless that we really doing a Drake breakdown. We got to learn about Nemo in the ocean, man. Like, you know, in the Matrix.
helped. An artist like Kendrick could have used Drake for promotion in the beginning of his career for features and, of course, the Club Paradise tour. However, by Kendrick now dissing Drake, one could argue that he used them for promotion again, but in a different way. This applies to most of the people who went at Drake, as he gave them all a boost at one point or another.
One point, yeah.
Future and Metro's album gained a ton of traction off the strength of dissing Drake.
Yeah.
And then I think of people like DJ Khaled, who literally structures his entire rollout by claiming that he has a Drake feature.
Did the Drake vocals come in yet? I forgot about this. Khaled on Snapchat? Yo, that's in the internet archives for real. Shout out daytime reactions in the chat.
And I felt like Khaled was a perfect example of Drake really seeing things for what they are.
This guy's got 2 Drake songs on there. Okay, 2.
Khaled promoted a recent project claiming that he had 2 features from Drake, and Drake clowned him and said it must be Drake Bell.
Yeah.
It seems pretty clear that Khaled probably did not keep up with Drake, even through this past year, which was a tough time for him, and Khaled revealed his hand. I'm sure over the years Drake has wondered, I wonder how many of these dudes are really fucking using me.
Niggas wanna see rent me on a t-shirt like I'm Hulk Hogan.
Drake refers to Hulk.
That's not a bar either, man. That's not even...
Drake has wondered,
Man.
I wonder how many of these dudes are really fucking using me.
Niggas wanna see rent me on a t-shirt like I'm Hulk Hogan.
So there are times where I've listened to enough Drake in my life. I can tell when Drake is writing. Sometimes I can tell when he's actually penning the bars. Drake definitely wrote this. He wrote this part of this song. Dudes want to see Rip me, Rip, aka R.I.P., on a t-shirt like I'm Hulk Hogan.
No bars. None. Not a bar.
I don't know what's worse, the Nemo bar. Y'all Nemo, small fish in the ocean, made for kids to show emotion. Or this Rip me. I just can never get with Drake lyrically, man. I just can't. The bars be breaking. Yeah, facts.
Facts!
Drake is I won't say he's a terrible writer, because Drake do got some stuff that I like. But this is why I could never get into him to begin with. When he first came out, comeback season and all that. I'm listening like, why am I listening to this dude like I remember Drake did a freestyle over the Kick Push by Lupe. I was like, this is good, but why would I listen to Drake rap over Kick Push when I can just listen to Lupe rap over Kick Push? Way better. You can't have 30 dudes say F you and still be the good guy. You got to be the one in the wrong. I agree and disagree. I think it's definite. I think 30 people can definitely be wrong by having one common opinion about someone. I definitely think people can be wrong because people are sheep and then people are like, yeah, sheep. So I definitely think 30 people can be wrong. But I hear what you're saying, though. I think the Canadian helped Future make the world look at Future the way Atlanta sees Future. I don't know what you mean by that. Zero. Bronxy said if he helped all of them out and they all eventually turned on him, who's the problem? That's kind of what Cam, that boy, was saying. And then St. Sean said, yeah, Future gave Drake the streets. Sure. I think what Drake gave Future, though, is bigger. He gave him a look to his entire pop fan base.
Drake refers to Hulk Hogan's infamous t-shirt ripping stunt while alluding to the fact that people want him dead and on a shirt. Coincidentally enough, after the beef with Kendrick, there were some rest in peace Drake shirts going around.
Crazy.
There's also the fact that even though Hulk Hogan is the most iconic wrestler of all time, he's also arguably the most hated.
I appreciate the fans rocking with me. This is really just a small token. Really fucking with a visionary.
So Drake is thanking his fans for sticking by his side and riding out the storm. He's giving back this music as a token of his appreciation. It's here where he's positioning this album itself as just something that he's doing to feed the audience to scratch the itch as the best is yet to come. He then refers to himself.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to his next solo album. I haven't listened to a Drake album. Well, I listened to the Party Next Door joint, but the one before that was since 2020. I'm gonna listen to this next one.
As a visionary, which really ties into the fact that this album is a smaller chunk of a larger plan. Just like most of his career, Drake appears to have a vision in mind of where he ultimately sees this thing going. I mean, for as long as he's been at the top of the game, and he's pretty much a billionaire, it's probably hard to find the inspiration. I think all this shit happening to Drake, it gave him hunger. I think he's about to give us some good music.
Only reason I ain't got a girl.
Stay Blessed said, Troy, you should do a breakdown of artists like Kenny Mason or Mavi or Navy Blue. For real, what are we going to get from this? Well, I was talking about this earlier. People still want to hear about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Y'all can pretend like y'all don't want to hear about it, but the YouTube analytics tells on you. Y'all watch more. And every content creator can vouch for this. It's not just me. We posted a video about Kendrick or Drake. Y'all click on that video more than the others. And you watch those videos for longer. You have longer watch time with those videos than the others. If I did a Mavi breakdown, which Mavi is very talented, who's gonna watch that? You and like 60 other people? Like,
I ain't getting married because I'm really out here filling up the itinerary till I'm 6 feet in the cemetery.
One of the things that Drake gets a lot of criticism for is the fact that he's not married yet, he hasn't settled down, even though he's approaching the age of 40. It's really in this line where Drake is showing his commitment to being the biggest artist in the world.
oh, she was the baddest one right here. Let me go back. Let me see.
Settled down, even though he's approaching the age of 40. It's really in this line where Drake is
Yeah, that one right there. Right there. Yeah. Yep.
showing his commitment to being the biggest artist in the world. He's willing to sacrifice the life that society deems as the norm in order to hyper-focus on his goals, and by all accounts, Drake continues to rack up accolade after accolade with this lifestyle.
I made a decision last night that I would die for it.
A major argument could be made that it's because Drake
yeah, she was
doesn't
good. She
live
was cute, too.
a quote-unquote normal, ordinary life that he's able to maintain results that are
Cam, that boy said, making a 30-plus minute breakdown on Drake lyrics has to be a misdemeanor somewhere in the world. Drake has some songs that deserve a breakdown like that. I really like Thank Me Now off of his first album. You could probably do Pound Cake. Although it probably wouldn't be 30 minutes because that's just, one Drake verse. You could probably do Light Up. You know, you got a couple songs that deserve an extended breakdown.
are anything but ordinary. It's his life. It's his choice. It's not like he can't get a girl. Like, he's pretty much got the pick of the litter.
Bulletproof door so heavy, got me rolling around like a dignitary.
A dignitary is someone of high status,
I'm glad
like
he
a
explained
president
that.
who often commutes in a bulletproof vehicle. Drake introduced his Australian tour wearing a bulletproof vest, which I broke down the meaning behind in a separate video. It's a lot deeper than it looks.
Funny how it's only bitch niggas that
Oh yeah, the whole Luke Cage thing. We watched that like what, 2 weeks ago?
on the boys obituary, cause if I die, it's these niggas that become the sole beneficiary.
It's here where Drake is claiming that the people who want him out of the paint are all people who could benefit greatly from him being dead. This of course applies to his competition in terms of hip-hop, but it could also be somehow tied to Drake's contracts with
beneficiary,
UMG.
yeah.
We don't really know what Drake's contracts really look like with UMG.
What the fuck are they gonna do with it? Had the girls up at 29 on stage twerking with a dictionary.
This line is actually pretty funny because
Turking with a dictionary is crazy. That's a little bit bars. That's a little bit bars.
Drake is claiming that if he were gone and Kendrick took his place, that the party would basically die. Kendrick's fans are known to dissect every word to the 100th degree, and
Yeah.
Drake is saying that the dancers will be forced to be on stage.
And that's one thing I do dislike about, the new Kendrick stands. Just the over complication of Kendrick. Kendrick says often in his raps, I'm not this deep rapper, F double entendres. Kendrick says this. I'm not conscious. Don't call me conscious. I don't do black music. I don't do white music. I just do my everyday life music. But people overcomplicate Kendrick's stuff all the time. Like it's a little irritating.
At the strip club with dictionaries in their hands. This line actually has a lot of truth to it because while introspective, thought-provoking music like Kendrick's is needed, it will never replace the general consumer's demand for entertaining music.
Hey, what song is that? That sounds like a banger.
Why both styles can coexist. Not everyone wants to live inside of a puzzle, and from the very beginning, hip-hop was actually...
Kendrick is not even deep like that though. Like, yo, describing Kendrick's music as people living inside a puzzle, although the statement is true, people don't want like introspective music. I'll use that word instead. That some people just listen to music just to have a good time. But the fact that there are people, and even Kendrick fans, who view Kendrick's music as like some puzzle, you're missing the whole. They need to go listen to Kendrick Lamar EP and Overly Dedicated, because you done missed the whole premise and foundation of who he is and why he makes music how he does. Kendrick Lamar's music is not a puzzle. It's very straightforward. The messages on Good Kid, Mad City, very straightforward. To Pimp a Butterfly, the whole little poem, I heard you was conflicted. Very straightforward. It doesn't really take much breaking down. Like Lupe Fiasco is how y'all should be treating Kendrick. Lupe Fiasco is a dude where every bar is a double, a triple, a double, a triple. Then this verse is a triple, which alludes to that. That's who people think Kendrick is. Like, y'all need to start looking at Lupe stuff.
all about who could rock the party the best and who could get people out on the floor dancing. Hip-hop
Yeah, I need
was
to listen to
born
Lupe if
at
they want
the
to
party,
puzzle.
literally. Now, some people might not like where it's evolved to, but party culture is very much a part of hip-hop. Like the social activism and the commentary, that came much later. Like the party MC has always been there.
Oh, let me see. Because hip-hop, it does take from disco, which is a party. But I don't know if the messaging came much later. But let me look up the name of this song. Grand Master Flash. Because this is like known as one of the socio-political... 1982, yeah. So based on this, yeah, it came later. But hip-hop also evolved from rapping black in a white world. Hip-hop also evolved from this type of spoken word rapping, not even just hip-hop, but rapping specifically. Rapping, the style of rapping, like rapping, the word rapping, it predates hip-hop. Like South Bronx and all this, Sedgwick Street. Rapping predates that. This is an album from 1970. And the album is very socially conscious. So the party's been there, disco and the fun beats, but the socially conscious, talking about your experience, I would argue that's always been there too. And I would actually argue that it predates hip hop in general.
Dirk's boy told me Marvin's Room was his favorite song. He was drilling to it.
Drake hits a double entendre. He talks about how his R&B smash Marvin's Room was one of Lil Durk's friend's favorite tracks. He claims that Durk's friend was drilling to it, which is a popular subgenre of rap in Chicago known for its violence. However, the word drilling is also used in the context of having sex, like saying, I was hitting that, I was pounding that. Basically, Durk's friend was fucking to the music.
Pause.
There's also the fact that the late King Von, who was a really good friend of Durk's, once tweeted out Drake's lyrics from Shot For Me, which was another one of his big R&B records. This was something noted by the Twitter user Aubrey's Attorney.
First I made you who you are, and then I made it.
Drake does this to demonstrate
And King Von was listening to he's listening
that
to
his
Drake.
music
That's
connects
crazy.
with people from all walks of life. It resonates with everyone from suburban white kids to kids who grew up in the most unfortunate of circumstances, like kids who grew up in Chicago's O Block.
Yeah, Drake's got something for everybody. Shout out Auto Ghost in the chat. Came with that baggie. $4.99. For a casual rap fan, Kendrick is the closest they've heard to Lupe's level of lyricism. It's all about perspective. Yeah. But I wouldn't even put. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's true. If you're just a casual listener, who else casually rapping on a mainstream level even has concepts? People don't even have concepts. There's just songs. I heard a Gunna song on the radio. It's all non sequiturs. It's like the song is basically about nothing. It's like Seinfeld, the show about nothing. The song was literally about nothing. So a rapper even having a topic or a concept, people view that as so deep. When in reality, yeah, it gets way deeper than that. You listen to Lupe, man, I'm going to do a Lupe. Even me doing a Lupe breakdown will take so long because there's so much in those bars and I'm never going to understand all of it.
So, coming off his last line where he references Dirk, as we know, he was allegedly 100% about that life, as right now he has an ongoing case. Drake is basically saying that out of all the people who are talking shit on wax, most of them are nothing like this in real life.
Savage, you the only nigga checking on me when we really in some shit, brother.
It's here where Drake is letting the world know that 21 Savage is actually loyal. This perfectly ties into the previous line about how a lot of rappers talk shit but aren't really about that life. That's why I don't think this line is about rap beef or anything to do with hip-hop. I think he's saying 21 is the only one that will actually check in when he's really, really in some shit.
So
I think he's saying that 21...
Yeah, 21 probably actually checked in on him during the whole beef with Kendrick. That's what I got from that bar. HUR said Aubrey Attorney, shout out his... I'll be seeing Aubrey's Attorney on my timeline. The whole crazy Drake stan, crazy Kendrick stan, I'm just so over it. Like, can we just be normal people again? Bronxy said, why do people act like K-Dot's whole discography is all right? That's what I'll be saying. People be like, oh, you rapping like you trying to get the slaves free. Like Kendrick has maybe 3, maybe 4 songs about uplifting black people. So to act like his whole discography is like that is very short-sighted.
One is the only real dude out of that whole circle. Like, he's the only one who's really going to hit up Drake no matter like what's going on.
Melissa Ford, you a legend from the States. Hate to see you with a dick sucker.
So Melissa Ford is
I used to have the biggest crush on Melissa Ford, like when I was like in 4th grade. Oh, she was so
former
bad.
video vixen icon from Toronto, and she also speaks pretty favorably about
Yeah,
Drake.
now she's on the Joe Budden podcast. I'm talking about back then though. She still looks good though. I don't know.
As she is a cast
I don't check
member
for her
on the
anymore.
Joe Budden podcast. However, Joe and Drake do not have the best relationship. It's been pretty off and on, and lately it's been all bad. And it's here where he calls Joe a dick sucker. Joe is still
God, this is a crazy message.
It's been pretty off and on, and lately
I gotta read this. This is Drake to Joe Budden. He said, Joe Budden, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip. Joe Budden was podcasting in that clip. You left music behind to do to podcast, essentially, because this is what actually pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember, you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. That's it. That's bars. that is bars.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about
So
that.
this is where Drake pen really get to work. And to y'all say Drake not a good writer, read this. For any artist watching this, just remember you're watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. It's crazy. A quitter gives their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switch careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check. And the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty NYC jeans to screw up their face to Mute Music 29 and pretend that you're the GOAT. Please, any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. Yo, this is ether.
Motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
This is ether. You retired and we never hung up your jersey. You retired and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you for doing this, podcasting. You withdrew from rap not because you accomplished all you need to. It's because it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in the generations after me to think that the whole everybody's entitled to their own opinion is a real thing. This is a man projecting his own self-hate and the fact that I did and continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. If you need to put it in simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in the 973 and flies first class on special occasions. That's nasty. Smoked him. Call him Butch. He jumped in the chat just to say he smoked him. It's crazy. Fresworth said Drake the only rapper that addresses hate like this. I don't even know why he feels the need to address Joe Budden though. Like Joe Budden and Drake, that's two different tiers. Like this man is not even on your level. Why even address him? But anyway, we're going to get back to the video. Make sure y'all subscribe. And stay to the end because I'm about to drop a new video. So stay to the end of the live stream. We got like 4 minutes left in the video.
It's been all bad, and it's here where he calls Joe a dick sucker. Joe is still an MC at heart, right? When he hears a record like this, his MC brain is turning on, and he's thinking about what to write. He's thinking about going in the booth. Like, Joe had more beefs than any other rapper, and Drake would admit himself.
I think Drake has I think Joe Budden has lost more beefs. He has a lot of beefs, but Joe Budden lost a lot of rap beefs. Like, he lost versus Game. He lost versus Ransom. He lost versus Lil B. Lil B smoked Joe Budden, not gonna lie. He lost versus Hollow the Don at the live battle rap thing, the King of the Dot, or maybe it was one of those. Smack, one of those. Joe Budden has lost a lot of rap beefs. He's been in a lot, but he's lost them.
Himself. Drake knows damn well that Joe could be lethal. However, this Aaron Hall sample is interesting for a couple reasons.
Oh, Stephen Vidal, I'm glad you said this. Bruh, Making a Mutter and Wake bodied Drake. Those are the Joe Budden diss tracks to Drake. He had his chance to talk to Joe Budden when he was rapping, and he ran from that battle quick. I don't think he's... And people bring up those... There was like 3 diss records, right, that Joe Budden dropped to Drake. If you're on Drake's level, especially at that time, I don't even understand why Drake is addressing Joe Budden. This is like the president addressing, I don't know, the local school board or something. It's like, why? Making a Murderer, Wake, those can be as good as they want to be, right? And I can see he's about to talk about Aaron Hall and Gloria Velez, which is crazy. Let's just go out the crazy work right here, depending on what he says. But it's not a rap battle if the person you're spitting at doesn't respond. Drake, like Joe Budden can drop 3 diss records to Drake. If Drake is not responding, you're just talking to yourself.
As both Aaron Hall and Joe Budden are connected to another video vixen, which is Gloria Velez. Now, allegedly, Aaron Hall...
Yeah, she was bad too back in the day.
...started dating Gloria when she wasn't of age. In the case of Joe, Gloria is actually 2 years older than him, and at the time, people were impressed that Joe was even able to get her. Yeah. In a 2005 interview, Gloria also went on to state that Joe was physically... That's
what I be saying. Joe Budden, he be having some bad ones, not gonna lie. Like, the girls he be with all be bad. I wonder what his game is like. Pause. Like, I'm just wondering what he said. What are you saying to these girls, man? Because he got, like, Esther Baxter, Gloria Velez, like... That's crazy. That's crazy game, like...
abusive to her, even going as far to compare him directly to her baby father, Aaron Hall. Of course, this is all alleged, and this could also be a reach, right? Like, it really could be.
Tell Mike that the ceiling's too low and booby, how we supposed to throw 100?
So this is another strip club reference, where he's referencing Booby Trap in Miami, which is a strip club that Drake has mentioned before. Mike is the director of security for this club, and Drake is more or less saying that the building ceilings are too low. Drake is throwing so much money at this club that it's stacking up on the floor until it gets to the point where it's at the ceiling and there's no room left to throw any more hundreds.
Tevin Thomas said Joe's a sniper. If Joe's a sniper, why he didn't respond to Lil B?
Red beef, I'm trying to get a party lit.
So Kendrick made claims that it's time to
It's
watch
too late
the
for
party
that.
die on a more recent Untitled track, where he criticizes materialism, excessive partying, violence in hip-hop, and he promotes things like education, religion, etc. While these messages are absolutely needed and very powerful,
Yeah.
Drake knows that people still want to be entertained. Kendrick's discography isn't exactly the definition of...
Yo, Cauliflower Cleopatra's. Joe Budden is just a trick. My ex sugar daddy looked and sounded like him. Doppelganger. that's a lot. Shout out Cleopatra in the chat, man.
Turn on some Kendrick to get the
So
party.
you think he just spending a lot of money on these girls and that's why they are attracted to him? I mean, but don't a lot of guys spend money on like a girl like Esther Baxter? Wouldn't a lot of guys spend money on her? I mean, she's a model, right? So there's something extra that he's doing to where it's working. Esther Baxter. Another bad one. There's something extra that he's doing. Jeff Guapo said, I never heard the Lil B diss, but I know Lil B isn't serious. Now that little t-shirt and buttons, man, that was like the most serious song that Lil B ever released. Joe Budden didn't even respond to it.
Bumping, and the consumer still has a demand for these records. Believe it or not, even after the beef with Kendrick, nightclubs and strip clubs and dancing and partying and having fun all still exist. All of this music has a place, and Drake is really playing the villain, as countless media personalities and YouTubers have criticized Drake for this exact same music. Some of these guys have even went as far to say that Kendrick has created such a shift in hip-hop that Drake's music will be phased out and won't even be popular anymore.
I don't agree with that. Cleopatra said, I mean, Joe Budden is not even aging gracefully. Have you seen he's a trick? There's something extra he's doing. Like if you're a model, like you're Gloria Velez or you're Melissa Ford, not saying him and Melissa Ford have done anything, I don't know. There are many guys willing to throw money at you. First of all, where is Joe Budden even getting his money? Back then. Now we know he's a podcaster, but back then, like he had one record and a bunch of mixtapes. So one, where is he getting the money? And then two, there are other guys that are tricking on these girls. So how is I got to give him his props. He's doing something to separate himself. His wordplay might be his wordplay.
It blows my mind at the volume of people who really believe this. Like it's the most smallest in the box way of looking at this. It's not based on any sense of reality. However, saying that Drake isn't introspective at all is completely false. This entire R&B project is literally him expressing his feelings. Drake's entire career has been about women, his wins, his losses, his family issues, his pitfalls. He's been very consistent in sharing what goes on in his life. Drake doesn't get political, but you can't say he's not introspective. He's more vulnerable than 99% of other rappers. Like
I agree.
Niggas is hating no boy for sure, the women in love.
So again, Drake is playing into the hate. A lot of his enemies stem from women, and he's just throwing the fact that the women love him right back in these guys' faces.
Princess Gigi, pool, pink, luxury, I gotta come to the stage.
This dude Drake is really living his raps because I talked to the team over at Area 29. These are real people. These are.
I mean, I would for sure believe that. Drake loves name dropping girls in songs.
The stage names of the
Loves
dancers. I believe hip hop as a whole got sucked into
Vegas devs let them pump it up. Royalties probably crazy. But Joe always talks about how he was in a bad record deal. So do you think he sees royalties from Pump It Up? They play Pump It Up everywhere still to this day. Yeah, Joe Budden always talks about like the record industry and how it's messed up. If he was getting Pump It Up royalties, I don't think he would be singing that too. Maybe he is.
to the moment around his beef and into this fairy tale Twitter YouTuber narrative where it was totally lost on people just how much people support Drake. I could personally already see a readjustment taking place in terms of how people view Drake and view Kendrick after the beef. Things are absolutely restoring back to a degree of normalcy, and I feel like this is something that fans of both artists really want.
Oh, he said he makes $30K yearly off it? Okay. I mean, that's good money. That's good money. Off one song, sure. Join Sir Mix-a-Lot, gets a lot of royalties. Sir Mix-a-Lot actually owned this song. Like, Sir Mix-a-Lot is actually balling. I saw a video on him years ago. What's the Dirt's first video on his channel is about how Joe Budden owns Pump It Up. Okay. Well, that's good to know. It's good to know.
In 2025, I truly challenge people to start thinking for yourselves, because plenty of the loudest voices on the internet are often playing into a narrative that yields the best profitability.
Yeah, that's completely true. Like people on your favorite YouTubers, well, not me. Y'all see, I do self-destructive stuff all the time. I say self-destructive stuff. I say stuff that's just, but most YouTubers, and even me to a degree, like they're going to tell you what you want to hear because they want you to like the video. The more likes you get, the more you get pushed in the algorithm. The more you get pushed in the algorithm, the more you show up like right here on these suggested videos, the more you're going to show up there. The more you show up there, the more views, more money. So like it's a disgusting like time we're in, but it's not even a time thing. This is just how it is. I just wish people would realize more when someone is pulling the wool over their eyes. Mark 4PF is naming names. I'm not saying names, but people are going to play like a lot of the opinions people have now. They would not have those opinions, or they would not be vocal about those opinions if it were not popular. Me, even when Drake was super popular, I've never liked Drake's music. I've always spoken against it. People used to call me weird. You don't get no bitches. You don't get no chicks. Oh, you ain't living life. Okay. I still don't like his music. I'm going to say it if it's unpopular. I'm going to say it when it's popular. Even when I was a Kendrick fan back in 09, 10, people would be like, who is Kendrick Lamar? Like, I remember I was working at In-N-Out Burger, and then one of my coworkers asked me, it was probably like 16, 17 at the time. He had his Young Money shirt, which I just never liked Young Money. He's like, oh, you heard that new Drake or something new came out? I'm like, nah, I don't listen to them. He's like, oh, who you listen to? Nicki? Nope. Gutta Gutta? Nope. He's naming all the people in Young Money. I'm like, I don't listen to none of them. Dude said, then who do you listen to? As if those are the only artists in the world. I'm like, Kendrick Lamar. He said, who? Man, I'll rep it if it's popular, if it's unpopular. A lot of YouTubers, if it were not popular to say, they wouldn't be as vocal about it. They might still say it, but it wouldn't be like the same of what you're seeing. You know what I mean? It's literally pandering is what it is. We just want diversity restored in corporate. Yeah, okay. Shout out to Curtis King. Like, y'all saying Curtis King, shout out to Curtis King. Yeah. So, yeah, no one listens to Gutta Gutta. Back then, people listened to Gutta Gutta, man. Everyone on Young Money was hot. So, look, I told y'all to wait to the end of the video because I'm about to drop live a new video. It's called Bad Kid, Mad City. Y'all gonna see me do it live right now. I need y'all to run the numbers. I need y'all to like the video, man. I need y'all let me post a video link in the chat. I'm about to drop it right now. I need y'all to run it up. Here we go. We're going to go public on it. Bang. Save. It's up. Run those numbers up. Yo, if this video don't do numbers, I'm quitting YouTube. Dead homies. Dead homies. If this video don't do numbers, I'm quitting YouTube. Dead homies. No, I'm just playing. But it's a look at YG's video, album, My Crazy Life, and how it connects to Good Kid, Mad City. I think it's a great video, a lot of cool edits and stuff like that. So I will let you guys go watch that. Hope you enjoy it. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already. This is top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.
it.